Hello, good morning and welcome to another video. Today I'm going to tell you and show you why working as a campsite warden is more than a job, it is a lifestyle. So if you are interested in my take on this, give this video a like and stay with me because we are on our 7th season, we are mid-7th season on our 3rd site. Yay! So today I'm going to share my reflections on why working as a campsite warden is more than a job, so much more. I hope you'll enjoy this episode. This is our new site, haha, this is where we are based this season. But when we applied for a job, we knew we would get much more than just a job. So working as a campsite warden is a very peculiar arrangement because on the surface, Weber's Park is just a business. It's run by a couple, they live here, they have a big site, there is a lot of work to do, they need people to help. So on the surface, me and Marek, just like our colleagues, we are a hired pair of hands to help with the business. On the surface level, we are here to work. We are here to help with running the site. We go to work every day and we get paid for this. But it's so much more. And to us, and I think for everyone who enjoys the job, who enjoys this lifestyle, it is so much more than just a job. Because it is our home. This is our pitch. This is our home, at least for this season. All our belongings are here on this pitch, on this particular site. So very quickly you settle on your site and you call it a home and you begin to treat it as a home because it's your livelihood, it's your address, and it is, if you are lucky, your community. And before I share even more of my personal reflections, let's focus on some facts about living on a site and working as a campsite warden, because I'm sure it's not for everyone and what makes it work for us may not work for others. So the first big difference between this and a regular job is that you actually live in your workplace and you're surrounded by your tomorrow's jobs. Let's say you wake up and you see the site, you go to bed and before you close the curtains you see the site and you see the grass which you will cut the next day, and you will go and take a shower in the shower block you will be cleaning the following morning. So really there is no escape from work, and I know that it may not be a positive thing for everyone, but if you love your job it's not a problem. Being constantly or almost constantly in your workplace is not a problem if you love what you do. In essence, this is a really challenging lifestyle because not only you live in your workplace and you look at your work every day, you're surrounded by jobs you will have to do sooner or later. You're also surrounded by your work colleagues because behind me you see 3 warden pitches. We live very close to each other. There are different arrangements on different sites. Sometimes it's a warden couple per field, but here at Weber's Park we are all next to each other. And this is not for everyone, is it? Could you live with that? Could you go home and see your workmates through the window? Could you sit in your garden and hear them talking and laughing? You are with them almost 24/7. You are with them, in a way you are with them at work and in your downtime. So it's really, really important to step out and leave the site and go out from time to time because it could frankly drive you bananas. So such a close neighborhood may be a beautiful thing when you all get on, like each other, respect each other, you work together, you play together, but it could backfire very quickly. So this is really a topic for a separate video. I'm not going to go any deeper in that. I'm just curious if you could live with your workmates as your neighbors, or maybe you've done it, maybe you've had the experience like that. I'm really, really interested to read your thoughts on that. Another very particular thing about this job is that we live and work by the season and by the weather. So what we do and our routines depend on time of the year and weather. For example, now it's been very dry, we've had hardly any rain, which means cutting grass is not happening because grass is not growing, it's too dry. So we are doing other things like trimming hedges. When it's rainy, we try to find work inside When the weather is good, we really try to get on with the park work and literally make the hay while the sun is shining. So you are surrounded in nature, and nature really dictates the rule. You play by nature's rule book, which is beautiful. We love it. We absolutely love it. But you are vulnerable. You are not sheltered in a building. You work with nature and you have to adapt to the elements. But living close to nature has its benefits. It definitely makes us healthier and happier. And for me, it means I can do my hobbies. And one of them is growing vegetables. Another thing which draws people to this lifestyle and this way of living is redefinition of wealth. Yeah, we live in a small caravan which we bought for cash. It's almost 20 years old and all our belongings are inside, but we do feel we have a luxurious lifestyle and we feel we have enough, or even more than enough. You change your way of thinking. You don't think that wealth is in belongings and stuff, because you really have to seriously reduce your belongings and the volume of things you own. You start to see that the wealth is having free time, doing what you like, having time for your hobbies, having time to rest and relax, that it is a really luxury to drive your car for pleasure and not to commute to work every day. And it is a real luxury to have time to follow your passions and have time for hobbies, keep fit. This job will keep you fit and it will encourage you to push your fitness even more, because as you work physically, you become stronger. So hey, then you want to go cycling, you want to go running, walking, you want to build up on this fitness. So even though we live in a caravan and we don't earn a lot, we've never felt so rich and so wealthy, because our wealth is elsewhere. And the pinnacle of this wealth and freedom and having a luxurious lifestyle is that once the season is over, we can do whatever we like in winter, and for us it's traveling. So not only we have enough, we actually have, we even have spare to do what we like in winter. I shared some facts about this lifestyle with you, so now I would like to talk about my personal reflections and observations and what it makes worthwhile for me. So what it means to me to be able to live in a place where everyone else is on a holiday and everyone else has to pay a lot of money to be here and to enjoy this place. And I can be here and I live here for most of the season. And the quality of life as a campsite warden is really unique. So what does it boil to? It's summer, it's high season, we are super busy, so my time for making those videos is very limited. I had time to shoot it this morning. It's a cloudy morning, so the site is not looking its best, but you can see it's maintained, it's immaculate, it's maintained with love, it's very clean, it's in a really good shape. And this is what our customers tell us, and that's what they write in their reviews, that the site is well looked after, the site is very clean, very tidy. And this is my backyard. So I live in such a beautiful place and it really makes me happy. And what I personally love as a campsite warden is that I contribute to those gardens, I contribute to the upkeep, I water these flowers, I do weeding, I cut grass, sometimes I trim the hedges, and then after work I enjoy the beauty and results of teamwork. A few months ago I was weeding between those shrubs. I could actually walk between them and weed, and look at them today. And yesterday we spent an afternoon cutting back brambles in those beautiful borders here, very mature borders. It's amazing. It makes me happy. Caring for this place makes me happy because, as I said at the beginning, it's my home. So I treat it as my home. I respect it, I love it, I nurture it, I look after it, and then I enjoy it. and I think it's really cool and wonderful when the owners are on the ball, they are involved, they are on site, they work with us, along us. They set a nice example. I really like working with the owners. I like it when they are present, when they are on site, and I like it when they have good work ethic and they lead by example. This is our attitude, and me and Marek, we just like it. We like high standards. That's why we are here, because the site has high standards, but in essence, it's the owners who have high standards and they pass it on. You know, when they do something, they do it to their best ability and they expect the same from us. And it's just nice to be in such an environment where people care and they try hard and they do their best. We love it. Over the years, I've made a few videos about what it's really like to live on a campsite. In fact, there is one particular video which is titled Pros and Cons of Living on a Campsite. So if you want to know even more about what it's like to live on site, watch this other video. I will leave a link in the description of this one. But before we move on, let's talk about owners a little bit. This is our third campsite and our fourth family we work for. And over the years, we've seen different models. Different people want to get more or less familiar with their staff. And some people will invite you to birthday parties and take you for meals out and really treat you as a member of the family. Some prefer to be a bit more reserved, and work is work and the division is very clear. So personally, I'm in favor of the second model. I don't like it when things get over familiar with them, not even management, but with the owners, because they are not only your managers, but they are the owners of the business, they are your landlord, and it's a bit weird when boundaries get blurred. Me and Marek, we definitely prefer clear boundaries, but again, it's a question to you. If you end up on a very small site in the middle of nowhere and there is literally just you and the owner couple, you will probably get a bit more familiar. And you will have a bit closer relationship with them. But it all depends, and there are different models. People do it differently, and just be aware that not all owners will want to mix with you and socialize with you. Some like it, some don't. So it depends on them. I know I use the word amazing too much, but this is spectacular. I really love this aspect of living on site, that you are surrounded, you're immersed in nature, and you have access to these amazing spaces which are super dog friendly. So if you have a dog, not only you will enjoy this lifestyle, your dog will enjoy it too. This is a gift. This is another big bonus we get here. Not only we have a livelihood, address in a nice place, we live in a beautiful location, we have access to green open spaces, and let's be frank, these days it's a luxury. So again, you could say, oh God, how could you live in such a tiny caravan with so little space? Because I have this, I have all this on my doorstep. So of course there are more and more little aspects of this lifestyle. It is a lifestyle. What you get is simply overwhelming. What you get, if you are lucky, and you find, and it's owners, it begins and ends with decent owners. If you find decent people who happen to run a site and they happen to need staff, you will be fine. It all boils down to owners and what kind of people they are. Because you may be on a beautiful site, but if you don't feel respected and valued, recognized by the owners, by people who hire you, you will not be happy. Even if you live in the most beautiful location and have really good pay, if you feel you are treated like a piece of junk, you will not be happy. But if you find the right people who know how to run their business, who respect and value their staff, you will be sorted. you will be sorted for years. And if you can get on with your colleagues, that's even better, because most of sites are in remote locations. So people you work with and you live with as neighbors, they will become your immediate community. They will become your second family. And it's nice when you can get on and support each other, because this is not a bed of roses, and work is tough, and especially in the high season we will be super busy and we will be tired and exhausted. So it really helps when we can work together and support each other. So when someone is asking me, hey Kat, how long are you going to stay at Weber's, I will say, I will tell you in September, because let me survive high season first. Because it's in the fire of battle when you get to know your friends and your enemies. So the high season will tell how long we stay here. I've lived for so many years on different campsites, on different sites, and to me they almost feel like temples. You can literally feel and sense positive energy in those places, and that's why people come, and that's why campers return. It's so much more than just a business. It's a really special place, and I think nature and being surrounded, immersed in nature, plays a huge part here. Campsites are places where people can go, can return and reconnect with nature and with themselves. They slow down, they have time to do things they enjoy, they have time to be people they can't be in everyday life. It is a break from every day, isn't it? It is a break from the grind of reality. And look at me, I'm here all the time, and I'm getting paid for this as well. So I think, yeah, I would compare campsites and holiday parks. Maybe busy holiday parks, maybe less, but campsites where you can really experience peace and being calm and relaxation. You can relax, you can chill out. I would compare such places to temples. Yeah, definitely. And I believe it's people's love and people's energy. The fact that everyone who comes here, they are here because they want to be here. Either staff, owners, or the campers. We all want to be here. We are here because we love this place. And you can really feel it, you can really sense it. Okay, maybe I've moved away from the core subject here, but I'm just so happy I can work as a campsite warden, and I can live in such a beautiful place with very special and dear to me people. So I wish everyone who's thinking, oh, maybe it's for me, I wish you all to have courage to just try. So if you have this faint feeling and this hope and this little idea, oh, maybe that's something I would enjoy, there's only one way to find out. Give it a shot. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you for subscribing to the channel. If you haven't done it yet, please do. It's very much appreciated, and remember that we respond to every single comment. So if you want to share some thoughts or ask a question, don't be shy, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much, guys. Take care. Bye bye.